How's everybody doing?
How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
What did you see in the run game last week that allowed you to be more successful than you had been in the first few weeks?
A combination of stuff like we've talked about before. I think it's 11 is 1, right? So I think it's QB making sure we're in the right situation. I think it's everybody being on the same page. I thought our runners did a good job of attacking their aiming points, and then what stood out the most probably is they broke a few tackles too. So I thought the yards after contact was as good as it's been too.
There's a lot of attacking of the edges, getting speed guys outside. And is that what you envisioned for the offense? Is that something you just saw against Cleveland, or just what brought that about?
Yeah, it's something that is a part of what we do, and every week we try to evaluate what we think gives us the best chance. And last week there was a couple opportunities that gave us gave us a good chance to capture the edge. And down near the 15, 20-yard line last week, we had some really cool ops too. And so again, all those guys did a really good job of executing. I thought, the very first one, Brock breaks a tackle early on and kind of set the tone, and the perimeter blocking was much improved as well, so it allowed us to continue to do it.
Obviously, big part of your game plan going into this year centered around Devontae Adams. Him being currently signed with injury, but also his larger status kind of up in the air. How does that kind of force you to adjust as that?
Yeah, I mean, every week you go into a game plan and you evaluate who you have first, and then you evaluate your opponent, right? And then you do your best to try to find, areas that you want to attack or areas you got to stay away from. And so whether that's Devontae or whether that's anybody else on our team, that's part of the process of doing what we do on a week-to-week basis. Because as you guys have seen, right, like the across the league, guys are they're out, and you got to deal with it. And this next man up, and our guys have done a great job, and we'll continue to do all that stuff.
To that, what have you seen out of Trey Tucker and DJ Turner that kind of allows you some creativity in the red zone, kind of what Adam was talking to with the speed on the edge and the outside?
Yeah, I mean, it starts with their play style, right? They're relentless guys. They're team first guys. They play violent. They play fast, and then they're high football IQ guys too. So they allow us to move them around different positions and do a lot of different things with them. And so, two very valuable guys for us in what we do.
Gonna ask Jacoby Myers. He's been a guy that he's been a wide receiver one before in his career. How much confidence do you guys have in him to be able to step up?
Yeah, no, we have a ton of confidence in Jacoby. Since the day we got here, he's been that type of guy. You talk about consistency and pros pro like that. That's written all over Jacoby. And then the talent-wise has been the same thing. We haven't viewed him any differently since the day we got here. We've been really excited to work with him, and he same way. I mean, same thing. He gives you a ton of flexibility to do a lot of different things with him, and so he's a lot of fun to work with.
Weeks 1 and 2, Brock kind of announced himself as a guy that needs to be accounted for by opposing defenses on every play. How have you seen him adapt and handle some of the different defensive looks that he's gotten through 4 weeks now?
Yeah, I think the best way to describe him is, I was just saying this to somebody else, like when he experiences something one time, and most of the time he still handles it really well, but if he didn't, the next time he nails it. So like he's just the pro mentality that he has, where I'm going to figure this thing out. He has that relentless mentality, but then goes to experience it one time, and then the very next time he dominates it. So that's really cool for such a young guy to be able to do that so quickly. And I think each and every week he gets more comfortable with what's going on. And he's still a rookie. He still has a couple things that each week that we're trying to get better at. But I think on an overall basis, I think he handles all that stuff, all the new stuff, really well.
You guys had a couple of deep shots that have been close, but haven't been able to quite complete them. I think it was the third play of the game, that shot to DJ Turner. What's sort of missing on those plays that you guys could execute a little bit better and help them get?
Yeah, I think it's just like what you said. I think the timing, the rhythm, and the decision making of both the route runner and the quarterback have been on point. And I think it's building that relationship we talked about last week in here. The relationship of a right guard to a right tackle and how important that chemistry is. No different in the pass game, as far as being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, and the quarterback putting it where you can go get it too. So that stuff's just going to continue to get better. I think I love the aggressiveness of everybody in the attack. Like everyone's buying in and believing, and we go on the practice field and we execute it, and we just keep continuing to do that, and then we'll reap the reward there on Sundays.
Antonio said earlier in the week that Alexander Madison had earned more opportunity, and now Zamir being banged up a little bit. I guess that becomes even more into focus. I guess what have you seen from him that he's ready for this kind of an opportunity?
Yeah, I mean he's been at it for a minute, right? I mean we're watching him in reps against this team last year. You know, Alex has been in it, being in that division with him the last couple of years. He's been there, done that. He's a pro's pro, and he's had that mentality the whole time. Whether he's the first guy to go in or not, he's been a focus of what we're trying to accomplish anyways. I don't know, he's probably playing maybe almost half the reps anyways already. So Alex is a big part of what we do, and he's done a great job handling all that stuff.
Luke, you've had 7 different receivers targeted in the passing game, 7 different rushers on Sunday against the Browns. Is that kind of what you have in mind for the offense, just spreading the ball around as much as you can?
I mean, anytime you can make them defend everybody, that's going to help you. You know, we talk about all the time, finding guys that can do a bunch of different things. And then if you have, the more of those guys you have, the more the defense has to be accountable for it. So I guess the short answer is yes. Anytime you can include everybody in this thing, it's really important to make the defense to defend every blade of grass. And that's what we're trying to do, whether it's with one guy doing a bunch of different things or a bunch of guys doing things that they do really well.
When you're talking about Jacoby, you said that he allows you some versatility to do a lot of different things. Is that something you saw even before you got here and working with him, that you thought he was that kind of a piece, or is that something you learned being around?
No, yeah, definitely from afar, I had that perception, whether it was in New England or just last year here. He seems like that type of guy, and then when you get here, it like hits you in the face. Like immediately, you get excited because you see the talent level obviously on film, but then when you get to meet the person and you can see how in depth he is and the details that he abides by, the approach that he takes every single day, all that stuff blows you away.
What have you seen on film that's made it so difficult for teams to pass against Denver?
I mean, what are they, second in the league in sacks or first league? I mean, the pass, it starts there, right? I mean, up front, they do a really nice job. They put a lot of pressure on you. They make you block a lot of one-on-ones, right? So they don't let you just sit there and slide to people, and so they put a lot of pressure on you and stress on you, and you gotta stand up to it. And they've done an excellent job, really for the last season and a half now. So they definitely pose a problem for us that we're excited to take on that challenge, though.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I saw Charles Snowden, really stepped up that final drive against the Browns and had a good game overall. What have you seen in his development kind of since he's been in the fold here?
Just really proud of how he's really taking advantage of the opportunity. And from the moment we got him, Robbie and Dre and AP, they did a great job of explaining to him, okay, this is where we see your possible role. Okay, we're gonna have to see this during OTAs. We're gonna have to see this during training camp, and that's how you're gonna give yourself a chance to be part of this organization. And he fulfilled all that. And when he came back to practice squad, he kept working, and thankfully it's worked out for us. He's a hard worker. He's a smart football player. There's a desire there to be better, and you can see it each day. And thankfully, he has great leadership in that room to help him out, both with the coaching and with the older players.
Are those the kind of stories that are rewarding as a coach when you have a guy who's worked a couple of different organizations, 3 years just to get on the field and then find a way to succeed in your system?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not my system; it's the player's system. Never think that. It's not my system. I'm just a facilitator, but they bring everything to life, in my opinion. So that's why we have to be able to adjust. But he found his niche, and he was able to, carve out something as an outside edge player, whether it's pass rush or set the edge. He displayed physicality, starting with, the preseason and training camp. And then, we start off the season with when Malcolm went down, against the Chargers, a physical team, the Ravens, a physical team. Carolina ran the ball. He showed that he could go out there and hold the edge and be physical. So is it rewarding? Absolutely. It's more rewarding when we win, yes. But yes, it's a great story in terms of, just as I go through my coaching career, to have a guy like that come up big in a big game, definitely rewarding.
You have enough of a sample size and film on Bo Nix in the NFL, or do you go back and look at some film on him from college this week to look at some tendencies as well?
One day, y'all gonna believe me. We watch everything. We watch everything. We watch everything. But I mean, it's been real exciting to watch that Kid play these first 4 games, go 2-2. You know, work through some tough weather conditions last week. You know, Coach Payton does such a good job. I have so much respect for him and the coaches on his staff because he has guys that are his guys, you know, just like some of the players, like the tight end, the fullback. Those are his guys, and they do such a good job of painting the picture. I assume, I mean, you know, when I retire one day and he's still coaching, I'm sure I might go sit in one of his meetings one day. I love how they paint the picture in terms of how they utilize their people, how they develop their people from within. It's real interesting, and then to see him going through it with a rookie quarterback and to see that guy mature. You know, you see him picking up the blitzes. You see him getting in and out of calls with their run game. So there's enough sample size to see that he's pretty good. And then when stuff breaks down, he's able to make plays with his feet. So, you know, but do we watch a bunch of stuff? Yeah, we watch a bunch of stuff. But, I mean, he's getting coached by one of the best right now. So no disrespect to who coached him before, but, you know, Coach Payton is one of the best to ever do it. And, you know, you can see that. You know, you can see the maturity out there on the field. I'm sure he has a lot of room to grow, but you can see him getting stuff done that gets done in a Sean Payton offense.
We saw the plays that Isaiah made on Sunday, you know, the pass breakup, the sack that he had. But how did he do just in terms of, you know, stepping into that role, communication, leadership that's required from that position?
We value here the process over the results. So, you know, you look at the sheet, you know, sack, pass breakup. To me, it's more important with the communication, the leadership he's displayed in the meeting room. You know, Pat, what's this? You know, asking questions that might not be just for him. It might be he wants to make sure the group knows. So, in terms of the process, him getting in and out of checks, him able to communicate on the sideline what he's seeing, what, you know, possible suggestions, talking to GA, who's our works with our DBs. You know, it's more of the process, and he's real process driven, like most of our guys are, and it's been encouraging to see.
You say you talk about trusting the process more than results at times. When you look at Robert Spillane from the time he came into this locker room to now, can you just talk about the process that you've seen him go through to become the leader and the player he is now?
You could see it all over the tape when he was with Pittsburgh. You could see it. You could tell he played with a chip on his shoulder. You could see the energy. You could see the ability to communicate. So when he got here, that's why we wanted him. We wanted him. So whoever the other free agents were, we wanted him. And then he got here and he quickly established that. And then we started to grow our relationship through communication, through disagreements. You know, our first interaction, you know, he gave me you can ask him about that one, but I was just joking, but he didn't take it like that. But it's just a great relationship. We're able to talk ball. That's why I love it. We're able to sit there, talk ball. I don't have to go up on the board. I'm like, hey, if they do this, they do that. Can you see this? Yes, no. Pat, this might be better. Hey, do that. Like, it's a beautiful thing to be able to have your green dot, your inside linebackers in the middle of the defense to be able to communicate like that. For me, that's for me is really good.
Isaiah Pullumau's first start, he said earlier in the game he kind of had a little bit of jitters, but he settled in as the game went on and made a few key plays down the stretch. What do you think about his performance and what he can do moving forward?
I mean, just get better every day. Working hard, you know. Just had a baby, so, you know, happy for him there. Told him nobody cares if you're tired. You know, we all have babies. There's 8 billion people on the planet. Relax. That's the joke I got from Vince. Vince gave me that one day. But yeah, I mean, he's just getting better every day, you know, and he has room to grow. You know, he's listening to his coach. We got really good coaches here. You know, GA does a great job with those guys of simplifying it, then getting them to play above the neck football and understanding it conceptually. And, you know, when Chris was here, Chris did a good job of starting that growth process for him. But the main thing is you know, like most professional athletes, they got to grab it and they got to make a choice. He made the choice to get better every day. He made a choice to improve. So pleased with that.
Coach, how proud of you, even though I know you don't like to look backwards on a Thursday, but the cumulative effort with leaders that were hurt and other guys stepped up, next man up mentality, just how proud were you of the cumulative effort of this team on Sunday?
Even though you preface it with that, I'm still going to go back to the Broncos. But you know, it's that nobody cares what's going on in our locker room. The opponent doesn't care, just like Denver is not going to care on Sunday. So our job is to show up and perform. We got to get better each day. That's what we talk about, process over results. But it's our job to produce on the field, one for our fans, for ownership, me to do my job, for the head coach, the players to do their job for themselves and their families and the coaching staff and the organization. So we expect next man up mentality. That's what we expect. Block out the noise, like AP's spoken about before. So, but, great challenge this week with Denver. Love going to that stadium. It's a beautiful stadium, and I heard the weather's going to be good. Sun's going to be out, and, it's going to be hard-nosed football. That's how they play. The defense is strong. Sean Payton's offense, they want to run the ball and throw the ball down the field, physical. It's going to be fun. It's going to be football Sunday. So, I know it's cliche, but it's going to be a good place to be if you want to watch football.
Let's do one more. Go ahead, Patrick. What can you say about the progress of Tyree Wilson, and what do you expect from him going forward?
I expect him to get better every day. It's not, y'all ask me this. I'm sorry it's the same answer all the time, but I expect him to get better every day. Just get better every day. He's really focused on being, he's a physical specimen, obviously. He has good length. He plays with good strength. Most young players on the front, it's about getting your eyes right. Get your eyes right on your keys, and then the next step is when your key disappears, where do your eyes go to? That's really what NFL football is for a defensive player on the edge. Because how many times are they going to have the guy that you're lined up block you? I mean, it's not a recipe for success. So usually he's going away, somebody else is coming into your vision and getting your eyes right. So that's where most young players are at this point, and we're trying to make sure we get that right. All right? Thank you.